Did you know that the way you are sitting right now, in this very moment, could be quietly weakening your legs, slowing down your thinking, and even setting you up for a future of instability and decline? Many of us go through our day without ever thinking about how we sit. We sit to eat, to read, to watch television, to connect with loved ones. We see it as a moment of rest, a time to recharge. But what if I told you that one of the most common sitting positions, a position you've probably been using your entire life, is secretly cutting off vital circulation to your brain and legs? The scary part is that even if you exercise every single day, this one simple habit can still be working against you, slowly and silently undermining the very strength and independence you are trying so hard to protect. The truth is, that feeling of heavy legs, the momentary dizziness when you stand up, or that nagging brain fog you just can't seem to shake, it might not be just aging. It could be a direct result of how you sit. Before we uncover these hidden dangers, I want you to take a moment and look down. Do you often cross your legs or hunch forward? Share your sitting posture. Let's analyze it together. Your awareness is the first step, and your story might just help someone else recognize a habit they need to change. Today, we are going to explore the forgotten science of sitting. We will uncover the 3 most dangerous sitting mistakes that millions of seniors make every day without realizing the harm they are causing. Then, I will reveal the simple, restorative way to sit that can help improve your circulation, sharpen your mind, and protect your mobility for years to come. Stick with me, because the first mistake on our list is one that feels so comfortable and natural. Yet it's one of the most insidious ways we sabotage our long-term health. It's time to stop seeing sitting as just rest and start seeing it as an active choice that either builds you up or breaks you down. Part 1. The 3 sitting mistakes secretly harming your health. Let's start with the most common and in many ways the most deceptive sitting mistake: crossing your legs. For many of us, it's an automatic, unconscious habit. It feels poised, comfortable, and relaxed. But what is actually happening inside your body when you lock one leg over the other? Imagine your body's circulatory system as a network of highways, with major arteries carrying oxygen-rich blood to every part of your body. When you cross your legs, you are essentially creating a roadblock on one of these critical highways, particularly the femoral artery in your thigh. This compression immediately restricts blood flow to your lower legs. At first, the effects are subtle. You might not notice anything more than a slight tingle or the feeling of your foot falling asleep. You might stand up and feel a momentary heaviness or stiffness in your legs, but you probably just shake it out and chalk it up to sitting for too long. But over time, something far more insidious is happening. When your leg muscles are consistently deprived of optimal blood flow, they start to weaken. The small, stabilizing muscles around your ankles and knees, the very muscles that protect you from a fall, don't get the oxygen and nutrients they need to stay strong and responsive. This is why many seniors who habitually cross their legs report a gradual loss of balance or a feeling of unsteadiness that they can't explain. And the danger doesn't stop at your legs. Crossing your legs throws your entire posture out of alignment. It forces your pelvis to rotate, which in turn causes your lower spine to curve and your shoulders to slump forward. This collapsed posture restricts the movement of your diaphragm, preventing you from taking deep, full breaths. You might not even notice it, but you start breathing more shallowly, taking in less oxygen with every breath. Day after day, This low-level oxygen deprivation means less fuel for your brain. It contributes to that persistent brain fog, that difficulty concentrating, and that feeling of mental fatigue that so many people assume is just a normal part of getting older. So the next time you find yourself instinctively crossing one leg over the other, I want you to ask yourself, is this feeling of comfort worth the price of my strength, my balance, and my mental clarity? The second mistake is what I call the postural collapse, and it has become an epidemic in our modern world of screens. This is when you sit with your spine rounded, your shoulders hunched forward, and your head tilted down to look at a phone, a tablet, or a book. It might seem harmless, but this position is a direct assault on your body's ability to function. When you slouch, you are physically compressing your internal organs. Your lungs can't fully expand, and your diaphragm can't move freely. Just like with crossing your legs, this leads to shallow, inefficient breathing. But the postural collapse adds another layer of danger. It puts your nervous system on high alert. Think about it. Your head is incredibly heavy. It weighs about 10 to 12 pounds. When it's balanced properly over your spine, your neck muscles can support it with ease. But for every inch your head juts forward, it effectively doubles the strain on your neck and upper back muscles. That forward head posture keeps your body in a constant state of low-grade stress. Your nervous system interprets this physical stress as a threat, and it responds by releasing stress hormones like cortisol. Over time, chronically elevated cortisol can lead to high blood pressure, disrupt your sleep, weaken your immune system, and even contribute to anxiety and mood imbalances. Have you ever felt inexplicably tense or anxious after spending an hour scrolling on your phone? It's not just the content you're consuming, it's the posture you're holding. Furthermore, this collapsed posture directly impacts blood flow to the brain. The arteries in your neck that supply your brain with oxygen can become compressed, reducing what we call brain perfusion. One fascinating Japanese study found that seniors who sat in an upright, supported posture demonstrated significantly better concentration and memory recall on cognitive tests compared to those who sat in a slouched position. The difference wasn't massive in the short term, but over months and years, those small daily deficits compound, potentially accelerating cognitive decline. We often think of posture as a cosmetic issue, something related to looking confident or avoiding back pain. But what the science is telling us is that posture is fundamentally a brain health issue. Are you sitting in a way that fuels your brain or starves it? This final mistake is perhaps the most surprising of all, because it's something we've often been taught is a virtue: sitting perfectly still. You might have excellent posture. Your feet are flat on the floor, your back is straight, your legs are uncrossed. You're not slouching. You think you're doing everything right. But if you remain in that one position without any movement for long stretches of time, you have fallen into what I call the frozen trap, and it may be the most dangerous habit of all. Our bodies were not designed for stillness. They were designed for constant, subtle motion. Movement is how your body communicates with your brain. Every time you shift your weight, tap your foot, or stretch your arms, you are sending a stream of sensory information to your brain, telling it, "I'm here, I'm engaged, I'm awake." This communication is what keeps your circulatory system active, your lymphatic system flowing, and your nervous system sharp. When you sit completely motionless, even in a good posture, a dangerous cascade of events begins. Blood starts to pool in your lower legs, dramatically slowing down circulation. Your muscles, no longer needing to make micro adjustments to keep you balanced, essentially turn off. The flow of lymphatic fluid which is crucial for removing waste from your tissues, comes to a near standstill, and most importantly, the brain stops receiving those vital sensory signals. It goes into a kind of standby mode. This is why you can be sitting upright, seemingly alert, but then you stand up and feel a sudden wave of dizziness or disorientation. This condition, known as orthostatic hypotension, is incredibly common in seniors and is a major risk factor for falls. It happens because your circulatory system and your brain have been asleep on the job, and they can't respond quickly enough to the change in position. One study from Tokyo Medical University was particularly revealing. They had a group of seniors sit motionless for 90 minutes. Afterward, these seniors showed significantly slower reaction times and a decreased attention span, even though they were well rested and hydrated. The inactivity itself was enough to temporarily impair their cognitive function. We've all experienced this as sitting-induced brain fog. We were taught in school to sit still and pay attention, but what we now know is that stillness is the enemy of attention. The body whispers before it screams, and in this case, it's whispering through numb feet, stiff joints, dizzy spells, and foggy thinking. All of these are symptoms that can begin with the simple, seemingly virtuous act of sitting too still. Part 2. The restorative way to sit for a stronger body and sharper mind. Now that we've uncovered the habits that can quietly undermine our health, let's turn to the solution. The good news is that sitting well isn't about buying an expensive ergonomic chair or forcing your body into a rigid, unnatural position. It's about making a few simple, powerful adjustments that work with your body's natural design. This is the sitting posture that doesn't just prevent harm, it actively restores you. First, think of your body as a building. It needs a solid foundation. Sit all the way back in your chair so that your hips touch the back of the seat. Then, place both of your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Your knees should be at a 90-degree angle, level with or slightly below your hips. This simple position does three critical things. It immediately takes the pressure off your lower back. It aligns your hips properly to prevent strain. And most importantly, it opens up those circulatory highways in your legs, allowing blood to flow freely without obstruction. If your chair doesn't provide good lower back support, don't worry. Simply roll up a small towel or use a small cushion and place it at the base of your spine. This small support helps you maintain the natural, gentle curve of your lower back, preventing that postural collapse we talked about earlier. Next, imagine there is a string attached to the very top of your head, gently pulling you upward toward the ceiling. This isn't about being stiff or rigid. It's about creating a sense of length and space in your spine. Let your shoulders relax down and away from your ears. Keep your chin level, not jutting forward or tucked down. Your head should feel like it's floating effortlessly on top of your spine. This alignment is the key to opening up your chest and allowing your diaphragm to move freely. You will find yourself breathing more deeply and calmly, almost without trying. This is the posture that sends a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood to your brain, keeping you alert and focused. Finally, and this may be the most important step of all, do not stay still. Remember, movement is life. Even in the perfect posture, stillness is your enemy. Set a quiet timer on your phone or your watch for every 20 to 30 minutes. When it goes off, it's not a signal to get up and run a marathon. It's a simple reminder to introduce a micro movement. What is a micro movement? It can be anything. Gently roll your ankles in circles, first one way, then the other. Lift your heels off the floor, then your toes, like you're tapping to a silent rhythm. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears, then let them drop with a sigh. Gently turn your head from side to side. Simply stand up, stretch your arms to the sky, and then sit back down. These small, gentle movements are enough to keep your circulation active, your muscles engaged, and your brain awake. They prevent blood from pooling, they keep your lymphatic system flowing, and they continuously reinforce that vital brain-body connection. For too long, we have thought of sitting as a passive act of rest, but as we've learned today, nothing could be further from the truth. Every time you sit down, you are making a choice. You are either choosing a posture that restricts your body, starves your brain, and weakens your muscles, or you are choosing a posture that restores your circulation, sharpens your mind, and supports your strength. Aging well isn't about fighting against your body. It's about learning to listen to it and honor its design. The body whispers before it screams. The stiffness in your legs, the fog in your mind, the unsteadiness in your balance, these are the whispers. By making these simple changes to how you sit, you can answer those whispers with care and prevent them from ever becoming a scream. Thank you for joining me on this journey to rediscover the power of posture. If this video has opened your eyes to a new way of thinking, please show your support by hitting that like button, sharing it with someone you love, and be sure to subscribe for more content that empowers you to live a long, strong, and vibrant life. And now, I want to leave you with one final thought to carry with you today. What is the one micro movement you will start incorporating into your day, starting right now? Share your commitment in the comments below. Let's create a community of movement. Thank you for watching. Here's to sitting well, breathing deeply, and living fully.